Schizophrenia is a mental disorder that is characterized by repeated episodes of psychosis in which the person cannot determine what is reality and what is not. Symptoms develop gradually starting in early adulthood at around age 16. There are positive, negative, and cognitive symptoms. Positive symptoms include delusion, hallucinations, and disorganized thoughts and speech. The 5 recognized domains of negative symptoms are showing flat expressions or little emotion, poverty of speech, an inability to feel pleasure, the lack of desire to form relationships, and a lack of motivation and apathy. Cognitive symptoms include deficits in neurocognition and social cognition. There are no known causes of schizophrenia. However, there are multiple hypothetical models to explain that there is a link between altered brain functions from gene-environmental factors. Gene-environmental interaction occurs when 2 genes interact with environmental variation in different ways. Schizophrenia is very rare, affecting only about 1% of the population. John Nash and Ellen Sachs are accomplished individuals who have openly shared their experiences with schizophrenia, emphasizing the potential for fulfilling lives with proper treatment. Schizophrenia was diagnosed for the first time by Dr. Emil Kraepelin in the early 20th century. In the mid-20th century, antipsychotic medications reshaped treatment and moved towards community-based care. Today, medication, community support, and therapy all help us in our understanding of the disorder. Some misdiagnoses of schizophrenia include bipolar disorder, schizoaffective disorder, or major depressive disorder. Substance-induced psychotic disorder and other medical conditions such as epilepsy or brain tumors can also share similar symptoms. Modern treatments for schizophrenia blend meditation, therapy, and social support. Past treatments included shock therapy and antipsychotics. Daily challenges for people with schizophrenia include dealing with the symptoms, adherence to medication, addressing employment difficulties, and balancing self-care with daily responsibilities. Some misconceptions include the belief that schizophrenic people are violent, have a split personality, or that they cannot live fulfilling lives. A current event article describes a man in Las Vegas who was charged with assault and attempted murder after jumping on a district court judge during a sentencing. The man was said by his family to have multiple psychological disorders, including schizophrenia. I personally think that it is important that we soon find out more about schizophrenia in order to help prevent it and treat people that are suffering from it.
Hoarding is a disorder causing difficulty separating from gathered possessions over time, regardless of value. Hoarding often causes tight and unsanitary living spaces. Bedrooms, kitchens, and bathrooms are often filled with garbage and clutter. The person with these diseases is emotionally attached to the items, or that you may have use for them in the future. Certainly, there is uncertainty concerning the prevalence of hoarding disorder due to methodological issues in the evidence base. Estimates have widely ranged from between 1.5 and 6% of the general population. Hoarding was rarely mentioned. The first time it was mentioned to describe a psychological phenomenon was in 1966. A schizophrenic woman hoarded meat. Sigmund Freud identified this as a symptom of an underlying mental disorder rather than a personality flaw. OCD, obsessive-compulsive disorder, can be associated with hoarding. CBT is a main treatment for hoarding. This is a skill-based take on therapy. You are also prescribed many medications for treatment. Daily challenges are people who have a hoarding problem struggle with getting the correct nutrition, getting around their house, and are often separated from family due to clutter in their houses. Society's reactions to hoarding range from empathy and concern for mental health to frustration and judgment based on the perceived impact on living conditions and well-being. This article I read was Hoarding Behaviors, and it shows its historical background as well as its impact on others. Hoarding was later seen as a separate disorder from OCD. The article shows how hoarding behavior reflects modern consumer societies where a person has an abundance of items